Hi and Assalamualaikum. For today's video presentation, I will explain about the definition of public procurement and also the introduction about the public procurement objective. And next is about the issue in the article given, which is the public procurement corruption. I will start this video presentation with topic public procurement because it relating with our article that had been given. Alright, first of all, we give some introduction about what is public procurement. Public procurement is refer to the purchase by government and also state-owned enterprise of goods, works, and also services. Right. The public procurement is the sequences of activities starting with the assessment of need through award to contract, management, and final payment. Right. Next, I will continue to the main objective of public procurement in Malaysia government. Right. The main objectives of public procurement in Malaysia is to support government programs by securing the best possible value of money through acquisitions of goods, supplies, and also services. To achieve these goals or this objective, significantly attention is to pay both price and non-price element, which such as a whole life cost, quality, quantity, timeliness, and also maintenance. Procurement advantages or value should be proportionate to aspects involved, and the best procurement should be properly assessed, reason, and justify. In this context, Malaysia government procurement is based on the policy, concept, objective, and also processes. Alright, next we're moving on to the issue in the article that has been given. Alright, based on the article, Bintang Jaya procurement officer in a government department has been found cahoot with the contractors or suppliers divulging inside information about the project to bidding company, leading to cartel that monopolies certain projects, say the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. Alright, research literature on a public procurement corruption has been existed in the late 1980s. However, in this study of public procurement corruption, Malaysia is still underdeveloped as compared to the public procurement from other countries such as Uganda, Singapore, and also Bangladesh. In every year, Auditor General report mention about the public procurement corruption issue relate to the government servant. However, it seems there are no action taken with the public procurement corruption rate are still increasing annually. Therefore, investigation of relationship or impact between the determinant, which is factors and perception of chief integrity officer in the government agency or a public procurement corruption in Malaysia. The factors are perception of public procurement corruption as a dependent variable, and the economy, politics, society, and also organisation and religious belief as a dependent variable.
Through a win-win pack, bidders can through the tender approval process easily using corrupt practice at all levels of department. This cartel is a big problem we face, and this has been happening for a long time and will continue to happen. Through this statement, it clearly shows that the management of the tender approval process in our country is increasingly heading towards failure. This is so because at all levels of the department, corrupt practice are common. As we know, this is a contrary to procurement principles. In the procurement principles, it emphasizes open and fair competition. It is about the processes involving government procurement should offer fair and equitable opportunities to all those participating or competing in any procurement. So this statement want to show about the procurement process and tender procedure process. So I will explain the proper procurement process and tender procedure process. In procurement process should obviously reflect public accountability and trusted with the government, such as a pop-up the public accountability. Public accountability can be defined as an obligation of public enterprises and agencies to be answerable to those who have assigned such as responsibilities to them. Other than that, the processes involving government procurement should also offer fair and equitable opportunities to all those participating or competing in any procurement process. All contractors should be given a fair treatment and equal opportunity to participate in this process. Principle is fair dealing, where all the application of the tender becoming it should be discussed within the commit level. All application will be discussed during the meeting in a detail. Next, tender procedure. I would like to explain the important part in this procedure. Firstly, a technical committee must be appointed or evaluate all tenders received. That means that all tenders must be accompanied by tender deposits. Then, all procurement board must be established to consider the report of the technical committee and then make a final decision. In addition, the tender must be published at least in one newspaper, complete with fixed date of submission, normally within the 2 or 3 weeks time. Next, in the normal practice, government departments have the tender boards. Then, board can accept and reject the opinion from the technical committee. So, lastly, in addition, information, the state level also have its own tender board.
I would like to continue with the main causes of corruption in public procurement in Malaysia. According to the news, the main causes of corruption in public procurement is the power and position of a person. ACC Senior Deputy Commissioner of Investigation is a new one is HAK. Said the public sector recorded the highest numbers of corruption cases with 1,628 papers open from 2008. Based on MACC analysis, the misuse of power is a common issue in the public sectors, where they who are in power in deciding a matter are involved in the misappropriation and corruption. This illustrates the seriousness of corruption among procurement officers in Malaysia. The fight against corruption is a constant challenge for Malaysia. Recent corruption scandals, including the highest levels of public officers, have created significant political backlash and public awareness of the cause of domestic corruption. Power and position of an individual have high influence in corruption, because people with power and position will be bought by the other individuals to gain something, such as government tender. When there is no integrity in a procurement officer, the possibilities of procurement officer to accept the corruption will increase. Corruption influence who get the contracts, the terms of the contract, as well as the terms of subcontract. A public procurement officer must have integrity, transparency, and accountability in spending the country finance. Any misconduct of this procurement officer will cause negative impact to the public finance. Corruption will occur when there is opportunity, and space means that the procurement officer, him or herself, are providing opportunities to the bribes givers to gain their personal interest. When this is happened, corruption may pervade into the multiple stages of procurement processes. As an example, the possibility of this happening is contractors always trying to gain more profit by supplying low quality of goods and services. To achieve their intention, a confidential negotiation between procurement officers and contractor will be held. Usually, the profit will be shared with the procurement officer concerned. For your information, this is the most common issues related to corruption among procurement officers. Procurement corruption can impede economic developments, distort market mechanism, and create inefficiencies that affect competitiveness, threats, and foreign direct investment. Corruption can result from violations of procurement rules or legitimate deviation from the rules. Finally, public officials that involved in managing procurement need to be more careful in performing their duties. Not only corruption, they also need to take note on some of common mistakes that often occur in public procurement.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Daniel Rahim. So today I will be presenting about the strategies to overcome or handle the issues related. The main strategies to overcome the issues related is by having a court of corruption. Court of corruption is a specialized court that is created to handle and supervise the corruption-based cases in the country. As in Malaysia, we have reportedly having an amount of 1,628 investigation papers that are opened up to cover the corruption cases. Out of that amount of number, 255 cases have been proved guilty and sentenced. This report is according to the MACC, Senior Deputy Commissioner of Investigation, Izani Wan Ishak. With all the concerning cases of corruption happening daily and reported daily in the news, court of corruption can help to eradicate and maybe help to drop out the corruption cases from Malaysia. This is because court of corruption can maybe create and legislate a new sets of law to handle the corruption cases. The old sets of law that been applied in our country seems to not be working good enough because we still have a high number of cases reported in the country. The one person that suggested the court of corruption being created is actually the panelist from the Union Network International Malaysian Liaison Council UNI MLC. The president itself, Mr. Muhammad Jafree. The court of corruption being said can help to fight corruption because the court of corruption is a specialized court, so it will only handle corruption cases, and the proceedings and trial won't take too long because the public has been disgusted with all the cases reported. So long period of proceedings and trial will only shows that the case been dropped, or maybe the individuals been let go, or maybe fined with some amount. Example of the cases, corruption cases in the country is actually the Sabah Water Department, the cases of 1MDB, the cases of Port Klang Free Zone, and also the cases of Immigration Department scandal back in 2018. All these cases are related to political bodies or parties, so it is a concerning issues to the public, and the public hopes that the issues can be eradicated or stopped because the politicians represent the people. So when the politician is corrupted, the people feels that they are not represented good enough. For the conclusion, corruption is a serious issue that have been faced or dealt by the nation country in the world for so many years. So it is a serious issue that should be taken care of seriously and maybe find a good solution through it. Corrupted nation could fall into pieces in one night because of corrupted leaders. So corruption is really a dangerous and serious issue that could be happening in a country. I hope, and we all hope, that one day Malaysia could be free from any kind of corruption, and maybe Malaysia could be a better future for us. Thank you.